And we are back with what might be the most anticipated match of the day. That's right, it's rematch time. Team USA taking on South Korea, and many people believe that this could be the year.
We believe it, I believe it, but also South Korea lost to France. So yes. Honestly, considering how strong USA have been looking, they're 9-0 in the group so far. This is their final match for the day. It seems like a fact. We don't need belief anymore. This seems like this could be reality.
I mean, you can have all your belief, you can have all your logic. I have been burned before. I have worked on this program for 4 years.
But not with me. You haven't been burned with me.
No,
I worked
right.
We're spirit bombing this. We're spirit bombing this right now.
Are you saying you are just the extra push that America needs?
We believe.
Okay. I'm going to believe, but it always ends in failure. I just want you to know that.
That is true. We can never underestimate South Korea. They're too strong. Bryn, don't you dare steal my play. Okay, he's waving it. Thank you, Bryn.
All right, thank you, Bryn.
Thank you, Bryn.
We appreciate it.
No. Keep this going. Keep this going.
The game is starting.
Oh, the game is starting. Never mind. We're going live. Here we are.
Let me push the button. But we're in. Carpe onto the Widow for South Korea, looking for the all-important first pick. So far, comes with nothing. United States running a much more broadly composition that will be better if Carpe doesn't get the pick in space. Just snipes down Bedosian.
And already Bedosian down. IDK going to get the res. South Korea, they can't contest this point at all right now. They're playing entirely for pick CP. They're looking. You see the Reaper going to be TPing in. Corey dodging that shot from Carpe. Carpe missed. He didn't hit it.
Carpe, absolutely no fear, but probably should have had it as Corey just went right in his face.
South Korea gave up the entirety of that point. They played for picks. They waited, but they couldn't find anything. United States were in complete control there. They were hoping for something, any sort of poke damage, and they could not get it at all.
So United States striking first blood against South Korea, but the round is young. In South Korea, they're sticking on the Widow.
Architect about to have this barrage here as well, so for South Korea to really get the opening they need, he is going to be the win condition. Space needs to be watching for Architect. They can't be letting him set up this barrage.
Sinatra holding back, waiting for the engage. Now it's time to move in, and he's hunting down Carpe directly in his face. Carpe trying to fight back, nothing that can be done. And Sinatra's just camping the spawn. There won't be a res just yet.
Oh, great heals from the Coalescence from Raucus as well, but good pressure from Sinatra. They're not letting Carpe or Architect get any of the space they need. Architect didn't get any value from the barrage. United States already 50% here on Nepal. Their ults are ticking up in South Korea. They're swapping again. They're getting IDK on the Batiste. They're still running pick heroes. What is this comp?
I don't know what this composition is, but it's certainly not standard, and it's going to be difficult for Carpe to get value off the Sun Zone. Look at Sinatra. Perched over to the left, diving in, blocked by the wall. The U.S., they're fine with this.
If anything, that might have saved Sinatra's life. Sinatra going to go down, though, to Carpe. See the U.S. being hyper-aggressive here. The Supercharger's out.
U.S. still using the Supercharger. They're down Sinatra, so they don't want to go too deep too fast. They're going to wait for Sinatra to head back on, just using the Supercharger to get out.
IDK, do you have the Immortality Field available? No, he doesn't, but doesn't even need it. Everyone's so healthy. They have the Supercharger. Look at this damage. They get way slow, but US, they're committing the beat here. In this fight, they've already lost so many members.
And South Korea roaring on back off the early pick on the Sinatra, just keeping the fight going. And South Korea going to be heading directly back onto the point.
It's scrappy, it's brawly, but the US have burnt down the time. It's going to be 99 by the time South Korea get the flip. So far, very good control for the United States. They had to burn a lot in that fight just to get the time. And you look at the old bank for South Korea, they're going to look to hold close. They're going to look for those oink and yoinks, as they're called, those halt hook combos. They have Blizzard. They have Dragon. They have another thing to combo that halt with the Dragon.
And the Blizzard going to be likely the most important part of the next fight. The United States going to have to play around it. Carpe holding to the back. Dragon Strike ready. He's just going to let it fly, using it to cut through the United States early. But Super catches Carpe on the other end, and the U.S. just moves forward. Architect threw out the Blizzard, but it was far too late.
Far too little, too late. Bedosian getting two, though, so far. Architect still alive, living to fight another day, but they should be able to pick up Bedosian and Architect very quickly. United States being so aggressive on that point, realizing that with the comp that South Korea were running, their best bet is to take the fight directly into them, roll them over.
You just run into them as if you're playing goats. You don't have to worry about what they're running at. They're not good in close range. And South Korea gonna attempt to delay, but they simply don't have the personnel. Carpe already down, and Choi gonna have to try and take the very sad walk onto the point, which turned out to be getting thrown off the point.
And that's already a pretty dominant first round of control here for the United States. South Korea bringing out some, without a better word, bizarre compositions. They don't really have a theme. There's no thematic composition for them. Like, when you see a Batiste, You expect maybe some bunker, you expect somebody to play slow, and they sort of are playing slow, but they don't have enough shield break. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is the square peg in the round hole, ZP.
Well, maybe the explanation is that South Korea thought, we've won 3 golds in the Overwatch World Cup over the last 3 years.
Time to call it a day?
No, time to do Mystery Heroes gold medal.
So time to call it a day. They're
Yes.
they're hanging up the towel. Huh? They're like, we're passing it on to the next generation.
Well, so far, they've been trying to be off meta, and it has not worked.
United States rolling out of here, still on that Reaper Doom. And South Korea, they're going for that pick comp here again. Architect on the Pharah, Carpe on the Widow, Mono and Choi looking for halt hook combos. They have to play slow. They have to wait for something of value to come out, while the U.S. looking for any sort of, but Ma's already gone. That's a huge pick, CP, because now they don't have the speed.
Architect dominating in the skies, catching Moth and Corey early on, and now a lot of room to work with here. The U.S. in a tough spot. Sinatra nowhere to go, and the far play for South Korea, decent work here. R11, Architect did not respect the Sigma Orisa.
Moth coming back on a fine Benosian. They're going to get the first flip. South Korea was never able to contest the point at any point at all. They gave up complete control.
And what a turnaround. Even with the early pickoffs, which South Korea was looking for, it simply was not enough. And they're sticking with Carpe on the Widow.
I mean, Corey's decided to roll out Widow in return. They're going to have those Widow duels coming out. IDK on the point alone. No one to fly to. Far too aggressive. Troy's going to get farmed here on the point, the ult battery.
United States looking dominant. And I have to say, based on what we saw in the last Overwatch League season, I would not want to be Carpe versus Corey.
Space going to find Architect a little late. You see these stagger kills coming out. Mono way too deep. South Korea, you need to regroup. You're feeding ult charge fearlessly. As all of the United States, they're taking this to the doors. They're saying, bye-bye, we're slamming the spawn doors.
Unbelievable. What do you think Super's saying right now?
Easy. He's saying easy clap right now. United States, they need to regroup. They're going to have a lot of ults here in the bank. Corey set up. We're seeing some of those Corey Carpe Widow duels in South Korea. They need to find some picks. Because also, United States don't even have to play very fast anymore because they have Corey on the Widow. They can play slow and just wait for Sinatra to find the flanks.
This is going to be difficult for Choi to find space on the Roadhog. Just how United States can play around, just getting close to someone enough to land a good hook can be very difficult.
South Korea here rotating from the flank side, going towards that mega pack room. They're setting up to contest the point here. Moth, he's waiting. He's saying, please, let me get those boops, but he's going to have to back up here. He can't find anything just yet.
The angle wasn't quite right. United States holding back. Raucus opening up with the Coalescence. Choi, countering full up, but Architect already down, taken out by Super. And Moth just rotating back around.
Is Moth going to spawn camp? Where is Moth going?
I don't know. To be continued is what it comes out. But Carpe wins the duel against Corey, but it's the only thing that went right for South Korea. Everything else going against.
He did. Moth went to go hunt Carpe. Moth is just on a mission there to devour Carpe, to move out of this fight. It's 98. It's 99. US are going to get the first map here. They're all on point.
Unbelievable dominance coming out from the U.S., but if you have to pick a reason, it's not just that the United States is playing well. South Korea, they are far off the grid as far as the meta is concerned.
They've gone way off the grid. And United States, they're up 1-0 here. And we have to say, this is a pretty dominant performance of the United States, but someone find a map for South Korea. They are lost. They are absolutely lost. We need to give them some navigation tools, something that it just doesn't make any sense. They need GPS. They need some help.
Their GPS is long broken. They don't know where they are right now. And I understand playing unconventional setups. You look at how China was playing earlier, where you don't really see Sombra a whole lot, but they made it work. What South Korea is running with right now, it's not working.
It is a very odd setup. I just don't understand exactly what their goals are here, other than maybe hoping that Choi and Carpe are going to get some picks. But they have very little shield pressure. They have very little aggressive presence there on the point. And the United States are just abusing that, just absolutely abusing that, and getting so many good flanks off and controlling the point 24/7.
And think about what this means. The United States is one map away from their first win ever against the South Korea in the Overwatch World Cup.
And that also means they could potentially go 12-0 in groups and to not only beat South Korea, but for South Korea to lose twice here in World Cup in group stages. That is insane. That is a crazy turnaround.
It defies years of history where you walk around here in Anaheim, you see the banners, South Korea, nothing but golds. And yet, that might not be the case this year.
Thank you, Bryn. Giving us a quick South Korea flag. They need all the help they can get. They need all the help they can get. So does Bryn. Bryn needs a lot of help, too.
Bryn is just sitting back here causing mischief.
He is. He's a very mischievous man. But we're going to go on a quick break. We're going to be right back with you once the next map is in, and we'll see you soon.
And we are back in one of the shortest intermissions we've had all day. That just tells me that the U.S., they want to keep the momentum going, and yet South Korea, still not afraid.
And moving into our second map now, our hybrid, it is going to be Hollywood. Remember, guys, 3 map sets, no assault. United States, if they win this map, they have won the series. Doesn't guarantee their perfect group stage, but they have beaten South Korea if they win this map right here.
And it also secures their #1 seed, where South Korea would be unable to remove that from them, which would be setting up a potential South Korea versus China semifinal tomorrow.
United States going to be on the defense first here for Hollywood. I'd like to see South Korea turn this around. They need to right the ship here, because so far during today, we really don't know exactly what's been up with them.
They've been experimenting with a whole lot of off-meta things.
They have been experimenting, that is true.
And the experiments fail, like a mad scientist that is entirely unsuccessful.
So here we go, United States, South Korea rolling into our second map of the series. Architect once again on the Pharaoh. They're running this comp we've been seeing them play just before. It's all based around the picks, though. No Carpe Widow. It's going to be the Hanzo, so a little bit more shield pressure, some more mobility, but not quite as long-range flexibility pick.
Architect in the skies, and for the United States, the goal here, avoid far poke, engage the meat of the South Korean team.
And you see how the U.S. are playing around this cover. They're playing here in the stairs where they can rotate out onto the point and onto the high ground. Sinatra taking a lot of poke, but not going down. Going down, actually.
Sinatra got read like a book. Architect knew exactly where he was going, and this double projectile offense from South Korea dominating point A.
Working out much better here on Hollywood first, finding a lot more success, and some very good damage coming out from Architect and Carpe. They're going to get the first very handily, very quickly, moving here into second. And Corey's decided, I've had enough, I'm going Widow, and we're going to see some Widow duels here on Hollywood second.
Carpe, do you swap Widow? Do you give us the Widow versus Widow action that we probably don't deserve, but what we need?
Does he have fear in his heart? And so far, it might be so, but also Carpe is very close to that dragon. They're going to use that Hall Dragon. IDK also going to the Batiste. So this is a comp they feel very confident in, as Carpe finds another pick onto Raucus.
Raucus not behind the shield when exploring a little bit too long. Carpe setting the tone. Takes down 2, including Corey on the other side. And this is looking reinvigorating for South Korea.
Carpe finding pick after pick. Carpe, he was a fish out of water, but now he's back in the sea. He's back in his habitat, finding all those picks. And South Korea going to continue to move forward here. You see Carpe moving towards the high ground. He's going to want that space. He's going to want those angles to be able to get the back line.
Up on top, ready with the Dragon Strike. South Korea, a whole lot of momentum so far here in Hollywood. A distinct change from a map ago.
And look at the ult bank for South Korea here as well. Close to the Supercharger, still holding on to the Dragon and the Ant Matrix. They have a lot of shield presence here. Sinatra going so deep, he's getting a lot of damage here.
The Dragon's been unleashed in space, couldn't get away, gobbled right up. South Korea laughing at the engage from the United States.
And South Korea are saying, you doubted our comp? You dare doubt us? And they're making it work. They're playing it expertly, and the United States are just not having any answer to all the picks coming out.
You think you define the meta? How arrogant!
The Ant Matrix at the doors here, CP, trying to catch them when they leave the spawn, but it doesn't really get anyone at all. In the United States, they're going to have the ults to come back in.
Supercharger come down early from Mono, and Sinatra deleted from this universe, just shoved against the wall by the whole hog.
And Carpe, he has come alive. Troy's come alive. South Korea just pushing this in all the way to second. This is a fast cap, and the United States crumbling.
Remember the entire thing with Monty, how the Overwatch League is not an anime? Well, Overwatch World Cup, it might be an anime because South Korea just unleashed their power limiters.
And Super here getting that forward spawn, gonna get isolated, gonna get staggered. As the South Korea advance continues here throughout Hollywood. Carpe finding Sinatra there as well, off the hook. And US, they need to regroup. They need to come back in. They have the Flux. They're about to have Meteor Strike and beat. They just can't keep on getting picked. That is the goal here. They need to come in. They need to rush in. They make a very solid spear push.
This has been so incredibly quick from South Korea. 4 minutes, 40 seconds yet remaining. United States looking to stop things here. They move in with the Flux. Corey's already taken down Badoshin in the back. And it's a much better engage for the
That
United
is the
States.
type of engage they needed, especially when running this Reaper of Doom. Despite that Blizzard coming out, they just moved past it. They walked into the meat of South Korea, and they finish up those frags very quickly, playing around Corey and Sinatra. So now they've stabilized, they've stopped the snowball, and they built up their ult bank here.
So the United States, they can stop, they can take a breather, and now we'll see if anything will change from South Korea. Do you think Architect stays on the May?
I wouldn't be surprised for him to continue with the mace since it still works for these sort of tight and closed chokes. He's going to still look to isolate to block a lot of this damage. They have the Ant Matrix and the Hanzo ult available.
Sinatra's down! The Coalescence didn't come out in time. He was a little bit too deep. Focus fired out. However, Rock has kept up the pressure. Architect down, but you're down both DPS. United States, they don't have DPS threats anymore.
Moth
South
was
Korea.
hoping to save it with a beat ZP. He completely mistimed it.
And South Korea, there's nothing the U.S. can really do right now where, sure, they're going to stagger out a little bit, but the spawn advantage is going to let South Korea get more progress on the payload.
The U.S. getting some staggers, getting some time off the clock here as Space is going to get staggered again there, close to the Mega, and just a mistimed beat, creating all those ripple effects here for the United States. They can come back into this next fight. They have Supercharger. They have Meteor Strike. They swapped Raucus actually onto the Ana, which I think might be a little bit better if you want to play that longer range, but he has to fear Carpe. He has to fear Carpe taking those duels with him to long range.
It also gives Bionade pressure on the Choi, so Choi just can't take a breather right in fist. Oh, Corey's down! Catches a hook in the wrong place as South Korea keeps up the pressure. Choi with the early pick. Carpe with the fall through. Over the top, arrow after arrow. And this is looking bad for the United States.
Carpe chasing Sinatra here on the flank. Can he get out? He's so hurt. He should go down. South Korea chasing him down. They've dropped the Supercharger on the point. Can anyone from the U.S. even get out to touch? They're about to have Flux.
Well, they're trying, but they're failing. The Supercharger, immense pressure. They go for the Flux. They're hoping for the miracle. The Dragon, though, devouring the dreams of the U.S. here on Hollywood as South Korea keeps the pressure on.
IDK with a gargantuan immortality field there. The Flux hits 4 members of the Korea. They were low, they were up in the air, and IDK has that drone, has that lamp ready, and South Korea answering back here on Hollywood.
Are we witnessing the fake out before the takeout? Where was the South Korea against France?
There's no way that you think they're just doing some pool hustle here. You think they've been waiting? They've been just waiting for U.S. to pounce?
I think they just feast on the tears of America. I'm about to cry. That's where I'm at right now. And I just see someone ominously with a tear bottle. I don't know what's going on.
Don't lose hope just
I'm
yet,
a little
though.
scared.
Don't lose hope just yet. There's still plenty of map yet to happen here. But that is a very solid time for South Korea there on Hollywood. They've come alive a lot more here in this series. And the United States, they need to find an answer moving into their offense.
Step one, I'm going to go for some real forehead logic here. Don't get picked by Carpe.
Oh my goodness, that's so smart. That is... Are you a deep mind? Are you an AI, bro? Like, that's a genius. Absolutely
Sometimes
genius.
simplest answers are the best. But in all seriousness, there are so many points where you look at how that momentum got started. Point B, Raucus just turns the corner for no reason, catches an arrow from Carpe, United States has no healing, and it just snowballs so incredibly badly from there.
But you are absolutely correct, though. Carpe should not be getting this much value when you have double shield tank on the field, when you have a very mobile backline, when you have Sinatra on Doom, Corey on Reaper. The Hanzo getting this much value simply should not be happening.
No, especially not in this meta. Oh, you see a Hanzo? Get behind the shield. We have many.
And also just pressure him with a Doom. You have a lot of options here to make sure that they do not have any room. The Hanzo does not have any room. South Korea rolling out on the comp. We just saw them before. United States here coming out on the offense. Going to be playing that Reaper Doom once more with Raucus back on the Moira. Looking to go very aggressive.
United States, not much time to lose. South Korea set a very quick time a moment ago. They're following Sinatra. He's on the way, going to the high ground. Waiting for cooldowns to come back up, and he's going to be diving directly into the cafe. Moving, looking, hits the car instead, cannot find Choi. The rest of the U.S. went in off of that. South Korea for now. Looking strong. Sinatra takes another attempt, misses again, and down he goes. Carpe with the punish.
And IDK with another massive immortality field. Both Corey and Sinatra moved to the backline, moved to Cafe, and Sinatra just wasn't connecting with punches. That's honestly what we can say there, is that you rely on the Doom to do a lot of the damage, a lot of those picks, and he just was not connecting.
The anime story continues. It's the part where the anime character just continues to shift and move, and you go, why can't I hit him? Sinatra's feeling the pain.
The United States regroup now, do have a coalescence, getting close to the Supercharger, but Halt Dragon already available for South Korea. Ant Matrix, Nano Boost, all up already.
Heavy pressure, moving on the Mono. Mono, though, healed up, and Carpe punishes Super for turning through his shield.
Dragon's out, Sinatra is down, and this fight's already over. The South Korea just outlasting the damage, getting those early picks. With the, at that point you're just the mega arrow. You're an automatic just death machine when you're with the Ant Matrix. The United States, they need to regroup. They need to come back, and
Oh
Sinatra gets staggered.
Sinatra decides to go in, and man, does he wish he didn't. Carpe's arrows just one after the other, destroying the spirit of the United States.
United States now, they need to regroup. They put Raucus onto the Ana. No more Moira. They're deciding that they would rather just have the Nano Boost, maybe the Antis here, and play a little bit slower. Supercharger and Flux both available. They need to force this Immortality field before they use the Flux. They're using it early. IDK will have the Immortality field here.
Super early Flux, Carpe getting low, Architect the same, but Choi taking down Moth. Find more space, shield back up, and Carpe got free, catches Raucus again.
And Choi getting nanoed and the Supercharger while whole hogging, blasting them all the way. There was no way that the Doomfist or the Reaver could get any follow-up with that Flux because they were getting absolutely pushed back.
What a turnaround for South Korea. They're a minute 30 from full holding the United States here on Hollywood.
Double DPS ult about to be up. Corey and Sinatra are going to have another Death Blossom and the Meteor Strike very soon. But they can't get caught with this Halt Dragon. They can't get caught by Carpe playing around the Ant Matrix. Sinatra going so deep, going so low, having to use it.
But he gets Architect, he goes for the gamble, he wins. Corey there in the fall through. Both DPS for South Korea are down, but South Korea fighting back. Moth and Super out. It's not done yet. 3 left for South Korea. Mono, Bedosin, IDK versus the world, and they're buying time. Corey falls.
Space has to leave. He's 60% to the mech. They have this Demon out, hoping to eat more damage. Sinatra going Genji. They're saying, look at this. They know they have Ana. They see the Batiste. They see the Hanzo. Maybe we need to get more dive out here. Maybe we need to worry less about this front line. But IDK still in the Batiste, and I never want to play Genji into Batiste.
This is how you know a team is feeling the pressure. Why is Sinatra on Genji?
Bedosian, though, the only one close to ult for South Korea, 80% now to that Nano Boost.
Super's on an app. Super's bio-nated. And Super just running for his life. Nano Boost engaged. And they have to beat so early, but they get Choi.
There's the Immortality field here in Cafe, but they've already killed it. They have complete control of the point right now. Carpe asleep, Wall, Nano, and Sinatra sitting on him, going to finish him off. And the United States are not getting first held today.
What is going on right now? South Korea off the meta, suddenly on fire, and the United States goes, oh, you think you're off the meta? We're going to bring back a dive hero that was practically extinct. We went full Jurassic Park on you.
United States picking up first. It looks like they want to swap to this Batiste Bastion play. You see Corey now moving to the Bastion, Moth on the Batiste. They're going to play a little bit slower. They're going to play the shield break. They have to be careful because Ant Matrix already up for IDK. Mono's about to have Supercharger, and when you combine the two, it's the Death Ray. It's the Death Ray combo. They cannot get vaporized.
United States for now, controlling the payload. They have time that they need to make up. 2 minutes is not much for point B. The Mortality field used early, and Carpe strikes once more. Corey taken down, and Carpe continuing the rain of arrows, one after another, and it's just a shooting spree. Carpe continuing to dominate. He's not dead yet. He's chasing. Unbelievable.
You just lost your mind. You've actually lost your
mind
mind there. And that was a good old Diva stall we almost had. But Carpe going for the finish on space gets picked by Corey. Corey now has opened up the possibility for the U.S. because of their close spawns to just move forward, move out, and continue the push.
This dominance, where was this one map ago?
Sinatra does have Blade. We're about to have a Nano Blade in 2019, a Nano Blade ZP, but they need to get rid of this Immortality field for anything of effectiveness to happen.
Corey hanging back, dragging down the middle from Carpe, swing things up, and yes, that's right, the Dragon Blade is on the way. How good is it going to be, Sinatra?
It's terrible! It's terrible, ZP, and they get frozen. They didn't remove the Immortality field. Disaster, but maybe the U.S. could still win. The bomb is out. Not looking likely.
Well, Genji is gone. Now we go to the other extinct dive hero. It's Tracer time as Super keeps the hope alive on the point.
Carpe finding Raucus, Architect about to go down. Sinatra now back on the Tracer saying, okay, just going to bring out this one if Carpe's going to permatrick Hanzo. And South Korea finally going down here in Streets. The U.S. moving forward, but only 40 seconds left on the clock.
30 seconds left. The United States not done yet in Hollywood, but they're looking awfully close. South Korea in a fantastic spot. Mono eating a lot of poke. Almost getting picked off early. Able to recover. United States here on the payload, moving forward and in. Looking for Choi, the Dragon out once more. It's up into the sky and catches Moth. Somehow gets Moth. South Korea, though, they got to get on the point.
They have to touch.
Move. You need to move forward. Do not C9, and they do. South Korea doesn't touch the point.
Super's going to go down, but the United States has gone their condition they needed. They've capped second. They're not going to get held here. South Korea seemingly winning this fight, but they have to deal with the better spawns in the United States.
Corey moving forward, the United States trying to get anything rolling here as Architect continues to freeze him out.
Oh, Space is the saddest D.Va. Playing D.Va into the Architect May, getting constantly frozen over and over. Will go down finally, but only about a minute left on the clock for the United States. They have very few ults in the bank. You look at South Korea, they're going to have Blizzard. They're going to have Nano Boost very soon. This is rough. This is very rough for the U.S.
A little bit extra pressure coming in. Carpe falls. And the United States, they need to strike while the iron is hot. They have the 6-on-5, and now they're going Nano Boost. Sinatra diving in. It's a Nano Tracer. He whiffs the Pulse Bomb, but the damage is still good on Choi.
Oh, the sleep from Bedoja, but Raucus there to finish it up. Raucus has been a madman recently. There's the Architect. Blizzard out. They can't kill Moth. Raucus is healing him. Raucus is popping off.
Raucus with a save from afar, and the United States on a resurgent movement here. They need to finish with time remaining. Finishing in overtime is not enough. South Korea, can anyone get out the stall? No, they can't. Extra rounds, here we come.
A very big time bank advantage here for South Korea. Nearly 3 minutes, 3 times the amount of bank for them. But the U.S. have kept their hopes alive. They have kept their dreams alive for this group stage. The perfect, undefeated group stage, beating South Korea for their final match for the first time ever.
We're so close. So incredibly close as the United States. And yet, so far, South Korea showing unmatched might for most of that round, reminding the world why they're the 3-time gold medalists here in this program.
And once again, we have to reiterate your very forehead advice that you gave out. Stop peeking Carpe.
Yes.
Stop letting Carpe get picks.
You have to respect him. I understand it's a Hanzo. I understand that normally you only see him when someone is throwing in your ranked games. But he's here. He's real. And if you do not respect Hanzo, he will rip you apart.
South Korea setting up here on the defense, keeping that same composition we've been seeing from them all match. United States, they might roll out here on this Genji play once again. They've been deciding that the Sinatra Genji might be worth it simply for the pressure here onto Carpe, onto Bedosian.
United States, 1 minute on the clock. South Korea holding back this Hog May Hanzo. And we'll
They're
see
not
if
going for the Genji. They're not going for the Genji CP. They're getting the Bastion. They're deciding to keep space on the D.Va to eat the antis, to try to eat as much damage as possible in zone Carpe and Bedosian, but they're sticking with the Bastion, with Corey on the Hanzo, and they're going to go for shield break. They're going to look to put themselves in a strong rotation.
Carpe getting a bit of damage, gets healed up, back over the top. High ground once more. Bringing the arrows down to bear. The United States, for now, shrugging off. Carpe under pressure, down he goes. Space in Carpe's zone, takes him out. The United States have gotten rid of the problem, and now they can get to work.
They own the point. There's the Halt coming out once again. Great synergy with these Halts. South Korea, they can't really touch. They're dealing with the Bastion. They're dealing with the Corey on the flank. Boss about to have Ant Matrix. They're getting antied. Can they get back out?
Right now, South Korea trying to delay. Carpe soon to be back to the fight. Now on Tracer. Sinatra trying to clear it out. Carpe's back in. And IDK doing the work. Takes on Sinatra. We're down to the final 2 seconds. The United States, that is it. They have been thrown off the point, but not without at least a little bit of progress. It is winnable, not drawable.
South Korea with a brilliant recontest CP. I don't think, I want to slow-mo it. I want to replay it through my brain for eternity. Architect comes in, drops the wall, somehow is not picked by any of the USA members. Icebox survives, and allowing that distraction allows Bedosian to walk in and drop the anti-nade while Choi is sitting on top. It was a beautiful recontest where they're not peeking the Bastion, they're not getting halted, and they all come back in off the distraction from Architect.
What a change in story this map has been. For those who had watched map 1, it would have been easy to believe that the United States was far better than South Korea this year, that somehow the script had been flipped. But no, we've just learned this year in many a series that good writing is just setting expectations, making you think that's what's going to happen, and then you just turn everything you know into its opposite.
You got to subvert those expectations, CP. It's a classic strategy of storytelling, as we all know. And it's very well beloved. Everyone loves that play. United States now going to be on the defense, hoping that all they have to do is stop 75%, stop those ticks from coming up for South Korea, and they win this series.
South Korea in a good spot to force this to the definitive map 3, where we played either way for map score. but it's looking like we'll be playing it for something much, much more.
South Korea once again on this composition. We've seen them playing a lot of actually no mercy. Okay, there's the IDK mercy. They were just getting Lucio for the speed boost. Gonna be pocketing Architect here. You see where the US are playing with the Bastion, with Moth of the Batiste. They're playing far back. They're not getting themselves any angles to be booped or to be picked around the shield by Carpe or Architect.
And to change in strategy, before they ran Sinatra on the Doom, but he got hunted by Architect, which is a rare feat in and of itself on the last time. Now they think that's Sinatra on the Bastion will be the key to victory. But South Korea, they have so much time.
A good anti coming out from the choke, from the halt. Immortality filled out, just keeping everyone alive. The US are trying to stagger their shield use very effectively. They only want one shield at a time being spammed, and they want to put the next in front of Sinatra, actually giving up the high ground.
Choi taken down early. It's what the United States needs, but they still need quite a bit more. Choi res back up. Fight not over yet. South Korea trying to back away. Choi just trying to break line of sight. And Moth finishes off Architect. Here comes the tank. Sinatra angry for a little bit more blood. Moving forward, shot after shot, and South Korea will be repelled for now.
This is some very good aggression from the US. It's fine, they're still gonna catch them here. They can't finish them off. There was an immortality throw from Moth. Very good, very precise aggression from the United States. They move to the low ground. They constantly are using these halts for super as Architect, and the very far back gets staggered.
South Korea, a minute 30 left to go. 2 attacks if they are quick. The United States hoping to make this map one that does not matter with the draw. Raucus going for the sleep, does not connect.
They swap Choi over onto the Sigma now. No more Hog, no more flanking hooks, no more halt hooks. They're using this shield, they're using the damage mitigation to hope that they can get closer. Maybe you can test the point, the Ant Matrix is gonna come out. Can anyone get caught by this halt? They're looking for anyone with the halt. They don't find anyone. So this Ant Matrix now just gonna be waited out by South Korea.
All it does is buy the US a little bit more time, but we're into the final minute. South Korea desperately looking for some progress on the point. Pressure now coming into the cafe. The United States holding in the cafe, protecting Sinatra. South Korea trying to work around it. The Valkyrie's used. Here comes Nail Boost. And where's Architect? Architect in the skies, looking over. Barrage ready to go. The Dragon Strike down Broad Street. But Architect taken down. Doesn't get a chance to Barrage.
They're living. They've got so much pocket here. Great nano to keep Architect alive, but at the end of the day, the United States supports using those immortality fields perfectly, mitigating all that damage. Architect was constantly looked at. They did not let him come in, and another Ant Matrix available, a Supercharger available for the United States, and we're looking at the potential US victory here for the first time ever.
If it's a draw, though, the United States can still bring it back. They could win map 3. We could go to a map 4. But this would be such a huge boon to the United States if they're able to win here.
The evil toaster, the actual evil toaster strat for the United States here.
Ranked has prepared them for this moment. And Carpe gets caught. An arrow to the head. 6 on 5.
They don't touch.
It's a draw. The United States still on the path to victory.
The United States keeping themselves alive here in this series. You love it. NA ranked, coming to the 4 there. They move to the corner, and you gotta love it.
But remember, it is not over yet. What can happen now? South Korea can come back. They can win. I lost my mind.
No.
No.
You did. They won.
They won.
They
won.
won.
Yeah, I have lost
you
my
lost
mind.
your mind,
Yes.
TP. They won the game. The US won.
I just realized I was like, wait, I have lost everything.
Let me bring this up real quick.
I'm
I'm Josh Wilkinson. You're Brennan Hook. That was their mistake, not ours. So it wasn't us. That was Brennan Hook that made that mistake.
It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. I couldn't believe it.
It is incredible. It is the first time ever. Now South Korea can still play for map score. It is still important for that. But the United States on their way to a perfect group stages. And remember, that mistake earlier, that was Brennan Hook.
Yes.
Not ZP, not Andrew Rush. And we're going to be right back with you. We're going to go to break, and we're going to be right back.
The United States, for the first time ever, defeating South Korea in what was one of the most insane holds we have seen in the tournament. Unbelievable, especially given how badly the United States was getting dominated for most of that Hollywood.
It was an incredible hold. The United States, the support line for the United States have been absolutely popping this series. And now we're getting into our third match. South Korea have lost, but they're playing for map score. It's the 3-map set here, so they could still win this last map. United States now up 2-0 though, and it is a historic moment that we just saw right before.
South Korea, now at this point, there is technically nothing to play for between the two teams. The United States, they have locked in their #1 seed. But South Korea, there's still pride on the line and also practice for what could be an inevitable Grand Finals rematch for the gold.
The U.S. here holding very close with the Bastion strat. They also have Corey. It's Junkertown first. It's Widowtown. It's Widowtown here. Corey going to be playing these off angles. They're going to hold very close to spawns, not let them out, give them any space.
Corey holding back on the Widow. Sinatra the front line on the Bastion. And South Korea for now just breaking line of sight and biding their time as Carpe continues to look for opportunities on the Hanzo. And the sleep comes in. South Korea moving in. They don't have to worry about the Bastion for just a little bit. Tried to take advantage of May in the back. The United States holding strong.
See this, the wall coming out, putting Sinatra above the shield, but he's being pocketed. The South Korea have not been able to find any of that damage yet against Sinatra. He's still alive and healthy, putting out so much pressure onto these shields. They're trying for a wall again, but they've still been able to get him. A sleep comes out, but can they halt him?
Not quite. Sinatra, though, taking down Bedosian right over Corey. Trying to even things out here in the back. And Carpe's still Nanzo. We have not quite seen much of the Widow v Widow.
U.S., though, still contesting this card. They have lost some space, but Corey playing these off angles, looking for the picks. Triobin going to go down to Super. See a little spam coming out to Corey. Is actually Carpe. He's in the back. He's going for the flank, and he's just going to lose to the SMG Widow. Bye-bye, Carpe. And the U.S. still holding strong.
About a minute 15 burned off the clock. South Korea not getting anything going here so far. And Corey's Widow dominant in the back.
Space finding two there. United States just fixing it up, just following up. And also, who's here on the side? Who is that? That's Bedosian trying to go for the flank. Gonna get cleaned up. South Korea, you need to regroup. You're getting staggered.
South Korea right now just looking for an answer. The United States has not given up the picks that they did previously on Hollywood, and Carpe just walked out of spawn immediately into the waiting arms of Sinatra.
United States still holding close, still playing on this high ground. You see the Emperor Sight gonna be used. The halt comes out. Can they find anyone from the combo? They do not. But the ult bank for South Korea slowly but surely building upwards. And they should be able to break it, because if they don't break it this upcoming fight when they commit, it's not looking good for South Korea.
Sinatra holding back and really yet to be truly challenged here as the United States continues to hold in the same spot. And you look at Sinatra, not always that intimidating, but it's Corey in the back.
Oh, good rotation here for the United States. We saw Raucus calling for it because they realized that South Korea was looking for this right side angle. There's the Dragon, but they have Immortality Field. Everyone's staying alive, getting healed. But Choi, he's flanked. Choi's behind. He's killed both supports.
The flanking Sigma, unexpected in the moment. But Sinatra with the tank firing on back, frozen down. But it's still decent delay for the United States. It's only a minute 20 left for South Korea.
That's a good hold. That's a real good hold for the United States still. South Korea had to commit the nano boost, the Dragon, just to get out. They need to worry about this upcoming Supercharger and Ant Matrix. But Corey, find the Architect. There's no Blizzard on the field for South Korea now. And the sleep from Raucus. They're going to get IDK.
Corey walking forward, an execution taking place in front of us. And Corey looking for more, not satiated yet. Over the top. And that's a Nano Widow.
Nano boost used. Moth did go down as Corey finds Bedosian. Corey still looking for Architect. Architect getting a little swervy out there.
Looking for a little bit more. Corey taken down, but the United States still more personnel on the point. 40 seconds left, and South Korea might be about to get full health.
And South Korea's ult bank is very strong for this upcoming fight. They have a good chance to break this hold. 30 seconds left on the clock, but the U.S., they're holding so close. South Korea are still getting staggered. They need to regroup. Space is down. This is their chance. The U.S. must back up, or there might be in a situation where they don't have those shields. They don't have that damage mitigation from Space.
Carpe going forward, a little bit more pressure. Sinatra gonna shift on out there. Corey off the flank.
Gonna find one. Corey still peeking. Architect now taking the duel, trying to get the freeze, but Moss there to help him. Architect, you have to be careful.
Oh no, when you grapple away from the mage, right in the waiting arms of Orisa, back the other way. And even though we are in overtime, South Korea should be able to get point A.
South Korea just going to be bringing this in. Unlikely for the U.S. to be able to touch to even get out. They shouldn't also even try to touch. They should just set up here for this high ground hold. A little less than 2.5 minutes left on the clock, but a good first defense for the United States.
South Korea hanging out on the payload. United States up onto the high ground. Still very far ahead in time here thus far.
U.S. waiting for South Korea to round this corner. A lot of ults going to be up. United States dropping now, looking for the damage. Mono already down.
Sinatra right in the face, takes down Architect, and looking for even more. 3 from Sinatra. And to say he was supported there would be an understatement. Nano and Supercharger.
And that was a great engage, a great fight for the United States. Not only did they use the Supercharger Nano, not having to use too much, but in addition, they lost Flux. They used Flux in that fight. South Korea going to swap Choi over onto the Hog. Just said, wait, might as well go for those halt hook combos. Going to re-enter, but without a Sigma, it's very tough for them to get up here effectively.
An Architect a little bit far forward, taken down by Super. Heavy poke into the United States. And Sinatra to the back. There's the Death Blossom with another 4.
Beautiful read there with Sinatra and Moth. You saw how Moth wall rides over to the back, tries the boop into the Death Blossom, gives the speed to Sinatra. That is some incredible synergy between those two Shock teammates. South Korea need to get out of spawn. About a minute left for them. They don't have a lot of ults on the bank. This next fight's going to be very dependent on Architect Blizzard.
South Korea holding back, and Sinatra sitting here waiting for the flank. It's a pincer that the United States have been using all day long. Sinatra awaits his opportunity and immediately going to work on the Orisa. Ready to drop down, Maywall out, and now Sinatra takes on the Immortality Field directly into the back. Choi, nothing you can do.
They try to keep him alive, but Ocean drops the Nano, but it still wasn't enough. Corey using the Blizzard there as well. They're dropping the wall. Sinatra's chasing. You're not full HP though, Sinatra. You have to be careful just a little bit, but the U.S. Bloodlust, you can tell their hackles are high. They're still chasing. They're still trying to get these staggers onto South Korea.
Only 30 seconds left for South Korea. Very close to being held on point B, Junkertown. And beating South Korea is one thing. Sweeping them is all the more sweeter.
South Korea coming up here onto the high ground, making a complete comp swap now. With less than 30 seconds left on the clock, they have no ults. They need to approach Carpe, Architect. They need to make something happen here.
Architect on the top, down to about half HP, waiting to get healed up. Final 3 seconds. Overtime is upon us. South Korea tries to get anything going on this offense right to the back, takes down space. That's a start for South Korea. Architect be looking for a little bit more. One more swing. Sinatra takes down Mono. Architect diving in, back over. And the United States is holding on. They drop the beat. Sinatra spins one more time. And this is like a hold for the United States.
What an incredible commit there for the United States. You could definitely hear them. You could see the mantra at play. Every fight is winnable. They moved forward even despite the fact that they lost space early. They knew they had Death Blossom. They had Supercharger. They had the beat to keep everyone up to get max value out of both of those ults. The United States getting a brutal hold here.
Now, South Korea, even though winning the map here does not matter, still have to believe that they're going to do everything they can to hold the United States back. And again, get a little bit more valuable experience for what could be a rematch tomorrow. The wild card, of course, standing in the way would be where China ends up performing, because China also an incredibly tough team.
And you have to question, why the comp swap then, ZP? Why commit all the way up to 30 seconds with that comp for South Korea, and then with 30 seconds left, then make a full comp where you're completely ult neutral? It just seems weird. It seems baffling even.
So, South Korea going to continue on this defense with Carpe and the Hanzo, and it was something that was very effective for them back in Hollywood, but it feels like the effectiveness has waned as we've moved into Junkertown.
South Korea, they're still playing that composition. We've seen a lot out from them. Carpe going to be looking for the picks. Choi looking for the hooks. And the United States, if I'm them, I'm bringing out the Bastion. It looks like exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be playing that bunker comp with Sinatra on the Mei to deny most of that aggression, to split South Korea. And all they know they have to do is just commit to the cart push. One good cart push, one good break for this defense, and they can take it all the way home.
And Corey, you'll be here on the Bastion, no Widow required. as the United States brings out a Junkertown strategy as old as time. It's a pirate ship.
Protect the president in full effect right now. And South Korea, they're waiting for them to pass through this choke. They're playing on either side of this choke. The high ground going to be abused by Carpe as Carpe just takes out Corey. Where is the heals?
That was very ineffectual presidential protection is what we just saw there. Carpe just finding the open window. And now pressure in from the flank as Architect takes the other side in the United States. This pirate ship is sinking.
Sinatra, though, going to save Space's life, actually. Architect down, and without that Mei, that means they can look for the split. Sinatra going to be chasing down Mono here. He's in the room alone. Carpe still in the back, getting more.
And this is really good for South Korea, keeping the pressure on, not letting the United States get anything going here thus far. But 3 minutes left for the United States. They have time.
Sinatra, his life saved once more by the sleep. He's getting pocketed by Raucus. Raucus keeping him up there. They don't want the stagger, but he peeks again. He gets hooked, but there's the immortality field. Every resource devoted to letting Sinatra continually peek and still die.
South Korea keeping up the pressure, and Dragon Strike directly down the middle, striking the heart of the United States. Carpe, pressure on the Super. Super needs to get back. And the South Korea also kept alive by IDK's immortality field.
Look at the ult bank building up for the US though. Both tank ults about to be available. The Blizzard as well. South Korea are going to need a very good pick, or hopefully an early pick here to deny some of the power.
Arctic's
but Arctic's down! He lost Blizzard!
He didn't get the Blizzard off in time! He died mid-animation! Choi though, whole hog, that's one way to bring it back. There's a nano whole hog from South Korea, evening the tail a little bit, but oh no, the Blizzard from Sinatra, it's freezing things out. The payload continues to move.
Sinatra going to the back line, but Choi, he's there to peel. Sinatra stuck. What, Mono, your split focus. Sinatra's going to be okay here. He can just keep freezing. There's the Flux, too.
Flux on the way out. Super low, taken out of the sky by Carpe. Corey striking back, and no, it's not enough. South Korea able to shut it down.
And Mono and Choi keeping them in that fight, using that nano hog to split the aggression, playing behind the shield despite being frozen, meaning that US could not clean them up. The United States looking a little staggered here, looking a little flustered. Their perfect group stage is at risk.
And that would be a little bit bloody, and also a shot across the bow, because remember, South Korea was so close to winning Hollywood. If they were to win Hollywood and get this, they would have been the winners of the series. So means the United States still has quite a bit to fear from South Korea. We'll see if they can finish on Junkertown now. Dragon Strike in from Carpe. United States just rushes right through. Sinatra diving through the front space, and Sinatra tearing through South Korea.
Fantastic engage there. They used the infra sight to make sure that they knew where they were. Then the supercharger comes out from Super. Sinatra TPs to the back line and just uses the supercharger to be an absolute menace in the back line.
United States just a little bit away from the clean sweep of South Korea. Only a little bit left to go, 3 minutes left to accomplish it, and South Korea's looking drained.
Carpe swapped here to the Reaper, IDK now to Lucio, making sure they have the speed to get back and contest. But look at the ult bank here. It's Nano Boost versus Nano Boost. It's ult neutral, but Corey now on the Bastion. He's there to try to rain that death from above.
United States on the push, still pretty weak from the early gambit here from South Korea. The Nano Boost applying more power to Carpe. Carpe going around the flank. Mono's already down. Carpe needs to do something. He needs to do it quick. Takes down Moth. And Choi off on the assist. Sinatra is down, and South Korea will hold for at least a little longer.
Now the US, they need to reset. They can't give up too much ult. Architect going to be 80% now to Blizzard after that fight. Did an excellent job. You notice how Raucus nano Sinatra to go to the backline once again. And Architect follows him, freezes him, makes sure he can't get any effectiveness there. South Korea going to set up here on this very strong high ground. A little under 2.5 minutes left for the United States to complete their perfect group run stage or be stopped by South Korea.
Well, first they're going to have to figure out how to beat the cold. Architect waiting in the wings with a Blizzard. In over the top, lays it on down. The United States, they're purple, they're frozen, and they're out of here.
So now, United States getting cleaned up, getting staggered. They need to reset here once again. Both tank ults going to be up for South Korea in this following fight. The US knows they only need one fight. They just need one fight, ZP. They can play the ult economy game. They can wait for 6. They just don't want to get staggered anymore. Good dodge from Raucus, shifting out of that icicle.
And now we look to the Reapers. Carpe, Sinatra, both ready to go. Death Blossom on deck. South Korea, though, a little bit more to go with it. They have the Nano, they have the Supercharger, and the Nano boost used early. Carpe not waiting at all, spinning into the United States, taking down Moth, and looking for a bit more, finishing off the Frozen. And the United States, they had almost over 3.5 minutes and now they are down to 1:18.
They're still committing here to this fight. Architect frozen, picked down. Architect going too deep. Despite that nano death blossom, the United States surviving, staying in this fight. They're still pushing. There's the supercharger.
Choi, the flux over the top, has to be careful, a lot of damage while on top, and oh, just rock Sinatra from above. And Choi getting thrown to the sky himself, spaced with the fall through the United States. They just need a little bit more. The sweep, I can see it. They just need to take down Mono. They do that to the United States. They 3-0 South Korea.
The perfect group stage run. A lot of passionate fans here in the arena for the United States, and we have to say this is a historic moment for them at the Overwatch World Cup.
And really, one thing I'll say, as impressive as this was, the United States should still fear the South Korea team going into tomorrow, because while you have the #1 seed, it does not mean that you have a medal just yet.
No, there's no medal in their hands, but they can walk away with something. They can walk away with some pride here, because this is a historic moment for the United States. We believed, EP. We believed, and it's come true. And I told you, we just needed my energy to push it up, to push that belief up that final hill.
I think you're right. That's what's missing. All these years of the United States coming close against South Korea at times, but never quite getting over the hump. It was just you. It was all we needed.
And to celebrate America, I'm going to take a drink from my Coca-Cola brand cup.
Very good.
Oh, it was very cold tea. It was very cold. Well, very good.
Well
very
done.
good stuff. Very good stuff. But this is an exciting day. Yes. This is a very exciting day.
And what it means is that the United States, of course, will be in prime position to compete for the medals tomorrow. We'll see if South Korea can redeem themselves from a lower seed. But this has been a fantastic day of Overwatch, and we'll see you soon.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Ils arrivent pour le deuxième point, mais ils peuvent encore passer. Oh, c'est fait! Le double kill à domicile!
Last 2 years, I represent France. It's a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable! 3 now for Soon!
It's not representing a team, it's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready.